Okay, so we are officially live on YouTube testing out the idea of doing office hours for all of our followers. So this is a public event that you can attend, and all of our followers who um, have subscribed to the little bell will get a notification that we're live and that we're here to answer their questions in real time. So, welcome everyone. My name's JT. If you don't know who I am, I'm actually the founder of Work It Daily. I've been doing this for a really long time, really, really long. I actually was in HR and staffing and recruiting for many years, and then I decided to switch to the other side. In about 2001, 2002, I became a career coach because I just saw so many people, they didn't have the right information, the right resources, and they were making all these mistakes in their career, and it bothered me that we didn't have a fighting chance. So that's really where the whole idea of this company came from. And I was a private career coach for many years, and then it just got to a point where I said, how do we do something bigger? How do we help millions of people find their dream job and move forward in their career? That's really what it's about. Everyone just wants to move forward. They want to feel like they're progressing. So that's why we did it. But so excited to be here. So I've already got some people here. Hey, Sylvia, welcome. So this is a little impromptu. We're testing this to see if all of our amazing thousands of followers here on YouTube might want to have a live office hours. I'm glad you're here. Do you have a question? If you do, Sylvia, you know what to do. Throw it in the chat and I'll answer it for you. That goes for the rest of you who are here right now. It's really easy. Just put the word question in all caps and then ask me your question. I always ask not to put the entire question in caps because then I feel like you're yelling it at me. But, just put question so I know. And I'd be happy to answer it for you. So if you are new to this channel, then I think the most important thing to do is to take some time to look at some of our core videos. A great suggestion I tell people is to go to the video section and then look at some of our most popular videos. They've probably been watched a lot for a reason. And we really try to give advice here that is up to date and current and real. So a lot of times you're going to hear counterintuitive advice here. The stuff that you hear out there in the universe is pretty outdated. And we want to give you the stuff that is going to get you the results. So come into this channel, subscribe to this channel with a really open mind. That's why you're here. You're looking for the right answers. And oftentimes the right answers are not the things that you're hearing out there. So really keep an open mind when you're on this channel is the one piece of advice I can give you. Of course, the other thing too is if you're looking for real help, if you're looking to work with a career coach one-on-one, that's what Work It Daily is, right? So you subscribe to us. It's literally like for a cost of a couple of coffees a month, you come into this program, this private program where you work with our coaching team one-on-one via a live private chat channel. So some of our members like Sylvia can probably speak to that if you're interested. But for now, this is a chance for me to answer some of your general questions. So I have a question here from Easy Programming. What advice would you give to persons who are looking for internships? Okay, that's a great question. So we work with a ton of students inside the Work It Daily platform. And one thing that we tell you to do is come up with what we call the bucket list. And it's a bucket list of employers that you would love to work for. And, it's really important that you think about the employer and not say, oh, I want to work for them because I heard they're awesome to work for and they've got really great benefits. I want you to think more about that company in terms of what do they do? What's the product that they provide, the service? How do they change people's lives? What impact do they have? And do you feel connected to that? Do you get excited when you think about what that company does? Because that's really important. If you're going to go work someplace, you want to respect the organization that you're working for. You want to feel excitement for going there every day. It's going to make the work a lot easier and you're going to be more productive and you're going to be part of a tribe of people who think the way you do. You know that if you get a job there and you really like it, what they do and what they're about, it's a common bond and that's going to make it just a better whole experience for you, especially for an internship. So my advice there is to definitely create a bucket list. In your case, it'd probably be about 10 to 20 companies. And then what you have to do is tackle that from a perspective as, have they ever had interns before? So a really easy thing you can do is a search on a site like LinkedIn that will tell you, you can put in the term intern and put in the company name and see if anybody pops up. And if they do, you can look at these people's profiles and know they interned at the company. And then what you can do is reach out to them and say, hey, we've never met, but I see that you interned at the company. I'm a huge fan of the company. And here's why. Here's why I love the product or the service, what they do, why I think what they're doing is crushing it. Could you give me some advice on the steps that I could take to get an internship there? That is the easiest way, people, to land an internship. That's it. It's that simple. Now, your follow-up question to me is going to be, well, what if I can't find any interns, JT? Okay, then find entry-level employees. Find individuals at the company that you can reach out to and say, hey, I see that you just got hired there. I was curious if they ever do internships. I would really love to earn the chance to intern for them. Would you happen to know somebody that I could speak to reach out about that? So you've got to put yourself in the path of these employers. And it's really easy to do. It's so easy to do these days thanks to social media. It's just a matter of you identifying the employers, identifying people that you could reach out to, and then doing that, reaching out. And look, brace yourself for a little, rejection. Not everyone's going to respond to you. People are busy. I say if you get 1 in 5 people to respond to you, that's pretty good. So manage your expectations, but do it. Get it done, because every time you reach out, you're that much closer to getting somebody to respond to you, which is really key. All right. So good luck on those internships. Awesome. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Let me go through this. How can I find a second job working remotely online? Big Rod. Shout out to Big Rod. So there are a couple of sites that you can actually use. There are sites like remote.com, which, full disclosure, I'm an advisor to that company, and it's all about remote job working. There's a site called freelancer.com. You can go to sites like Upwork. I've seen people get contract work on sites like Fiverr. I mean, there's a lot of online sites where you can go and get that. Again, the one thing I'll tell you, Big Rod, is the best way to get a job that you love to work remotely is to figure out, what would that look like? What do you want to do? And who do you want to do it for? And then start a conversation with that company. Find people that work there. Ask them, do they ever allow people to work remotely part-time? Are they ever interested in part-time remote workers? You've got to knock on the doors and just find the answers. And if there is, then you work that process. But I've had so many people say to me, how do I have my dream job sort of fall in my lap? Or how do I get that side hustle to fall in my lap? And you and I both know that's not going to happen. But you'd be amazed at how easy it is to go out and ask people, are you looking for help on a part-time basis? And they might even say no initially because they never thought of it. But then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, that actually makes a lot of sense. Who was that guy? Who's that person that said they'd work for us part-time? Go back and find that person. So sometimes you've just got to knock on the door and present the idea, full well knowing you're going to get the initial rejection, but you're the one putting the seed in their head that maybe we should do something like this, or maybe we should hire some people part-time. That's what marketing yourself is all about. I mean, one of the things you're going to know if you follow this channel is that we're big about talking about being a business of one. I think anybody that sees themselves as employee is being really short-sighted. You're not an employee. Employees don't exist anymore. That's when you went to work for a company for 50 years, you retired, you got your gold watch and your retirement plan. We are all businesses of one. All our jobs are temporary, every single one of them. And so knowing that, we have to market ourselves like businesses. I mean, when we see businesses go out of business, it's because either what they offer isn't relevant anymore, or they got outmarketed. And so we don't want that to happen to ourselves. So Big Rod, my advice to you is, again, bucket list, figure it out, knock on some doors and get some conversations going. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to kill you, but it could end up with you finding the perfect part-time job. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, Lorena says, hi, what about being hired from a big company when they don't read your email, or via LinkedIn when they receive thousands of emails? Oh gosh, well, Lorena, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And, this isn't a promotion. I'm going to tell you that's why we invented Work It Daily. I mean, I have people come to me every day. I was so frustrated as a career coach because people would say, oh, JT, it's got to be my resume. It's got to be my LinkedIn profile, because I'm online applying to hundreds of companies and I'm emailing them. No one's contacting me back. And then I get to be the person that has to tell them the horrible news, which is less than 3% of the people have even seen your application, have even seen your stuff. And because you have no connection to the organization, because your personality and your aptitude hasn't been presented to this organization, their whole focus is to screen you out. So anything that doesn't match, they're tossing you. It is the single worst way to look for work. It is the least productive way to look for work. And, I've had people who have looked for work like that for 6 to 9 months. And I have to tell them, you essentially haven't been looking for work. That's not looking for work. Looking for work is building a game plan around what you do and the value that you bring and the kind of work you want to do, and then identifying the employers that do that, and then creating a way to go around the ATS. You've got to go around the applicant tracking system. And that's what we teach you, because that's how you get your personality and your aptitude in front of them first. So they say, all right, let's take a look. And even if your experience isn't an exact match, I mean, how many times have you seen people who you're like, how did he get the job? Why did she get the job? They don't have all the experience. No, they don't. But companies don't really hire on experience. Yes, they need you to have the basic experience, but they hire on personality and aptitude. Personality being, we get along with everybody. And aptitude being, can you do it the way we want you to do it at the company? Now, how are you going to convey that in a resume, in a LinkedIn profile? You're not. You never can. Those tools will never convey that. How that gets conveyed is through the backdoor channels. And that's what we teach you inside Work It Daily. We teach you how to connect with people and present that. We teach you how to create something called a disruptive cover letter, which if anyone here has not watched our disruptive cover letter video tutorial here on YouTube, you got to watch it. Because that is how you write a cover letter today. And it's, again, one of those counterintuitive pieces of advice that nobody knows about yet every single day. And my Work It Daily members will vouch for me here, will tell you they're literally getting job interviews because of these cover letters. So you need to know how to do that. But my advice to you, Lorena, is that you're doing the wrong things and you need a whole new reboot with your job search. And having that step-by-step process and knowing what to do is really going to bring your confidence back, but it also means you're going to be doing the right thing. You're going to find a job much faster. I mean, people inside Work It Daily are finding jobs usually within, on average, start to finish, anywhere from 2 to 4 months. The average job search in America, just so you know, is over 9 months. So you want to cut that process down. You've got to know what to do, where to look, and how to put yourself in front of the right employers. That's what shortens it up. I mean, I've had people come in here and inside of a month, they've got multiple job offers, but it's because they narrowed the search, knew exactly what to work on. What you're doing right now, what most people are doing, is what something we call, is really awful. It's called spray and pray. And it's like, let me just throw everything out there and hope somebody responds to me. Nobody's going to respond to you because they're not getting to know your personality and your aptitude. That's really the problem. So good luck with that. Okay, what else do we have here? Lillian says, is it unprofessional to ask for an HR job from the HR manager of a firm I've been eyeing? I don't think you can ask for the job, Lillian. I think you can ask, what does it take to earn a job there? I think you need to get their inside scoop and say, can you give me feedback? What would it take for me to earn a job there someday? What do I got to do in order to impress you? That's the way. And I'm sure that's what you meant by that. But yeah, no, you should reach out to the HR person and say, these are the 10 reasons I think your company is crushing it. I think, and again, be careful, folks. Don't tell companies, oh, you have the best benefits. And I see that you really treat your people really well. Nobody wants to hire that person. You sound really needy when you do that. I don't think people understand that when you sit there and tell a company they're great because they're good to their employees, what you're really telling them is, I've had a bad experience with an employer and I want you to treat me well. They don't want that employee. What they want to hear is you saying, I love what you do for customers. You are best in class in the product that you sell. You are hands down the best service I've ever used. They want to see that you drink the Kool-Aid of why they exist. That is the employee they want to hire. So when you go to that HR person, you want to say, these are the 10 reasons this company is killing it in its industry. And that's why I want to work for you. What would it take to earn a position with you someday? All right. See the difference, everyone? That's pretty important stuff, just so you know. Awesome. Yeah, great. So let's see. I hope I say this right. Is it Anushri? Anushri Sharma? Welcome. I have a gap of 4 years. I was doing my company secretary. I passed my preliminary. Okay, so gaps. I think what we're talking about here is work gaps. They happen to people. We have things happen in our lives that require us to take some work off. Here's the harsh reality, because I'm always going to give it to you straight, whether you want to hear it or not. And that is, every year that you're out of the workforce, you lose about 10% of your value in the minds of employers. So if you've been out of work for 4 years, you've lost 40% of your value of where you were at when you were working. So what you have to do is recognize that. You're going to have to earn that back. Now, here's the good news. You're not a brand new employee who's never worked before. So once you get yourself back in a role that's probably going to be a bit more junior than you were in, then you're going to very quickly move yourself back up there, right? You know that you can do that. You can crush it. So you've got to manage your expectations. When we step out of the workplace, it impacts us. Now, the best way to get back in there is to have a killer brand. So you've got to be ready to say, here's why my sabbatical is done. Here's that chapter of my life is behind me. Here's my specialties. Here's how I add value. Here's how I can save or make your company enough money to justify the cost of hiring me. Here's what you're going to get by hiring me because I've been out of work. So boy, am I going to crush it for you. I'm going to be the best employee you've ever had because I really want to close this gap behind me. I want to put it in the rearview mirror. So you've got to have all that branding pulled together and marketed. So my challenge to you, Anushri, is to really think about how that's being conveyed in your branding statement, how you talk to people, in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, in your cover letters, in all of your tools. There has to be this confidence that comes through, as well as this ability to explain what was happening with that gap and why you want to put it behind you. And there's some real nuances to that you need to practice. But once you get there and once you've got that brand working solidly, you'll find that employers will go, okay, so 4 years, it's okay. We see the opportunity in hiring you and we're going to do that. But you have to get to that place. It's all about confidence, folks, isn't it? It's all about career confidence. And most of the people that come in to work at Daily, they've lost their confidence, but they know that if they get it back, they're going to be on fire. And that's the people we love to work with. We don't want to work with the whiners. We don't want to work with the excuses people. We always say at work at Daily, we want to work with the doers. And they come in here and they say, look, just give me the info, get my motivation back on track, get my confidence back and watch me soar. And that's exactly what happened. So my point to all of you is that if you're in a place where your career confidence is low, that needs to be your primary concern right now. Don't try to find that new job. Don't try to get out there because you're not moving your career forward. You're your biggest roadblock. You have got to get to a place where you can say, I like my skills. I like who I am as a professional. I know what direction I'm heading in, and I've got, my foot on the gas pedal and I'm going for it. That energy, that confidence, that's what gets you your next job every single time. Employers don't want to buy damaged goods. Plain and simple. So when you give off this vibe that you don't have full confidence, and I don't mean cocky, I just mean confident. When you don't give off this vibe that you know who you are, you know how you can add value, and you're excited about that, they can feel that. And they're like, well, what's wrong with this person? That feels like damaged goods here. I don't want damaged goods. I want the full package. I want the best value. So you've got to get to a place where that authentically comes through in all your interactions. So any of you out there that are lacking career confidence, you need some help with that first. It's really, really important, or you're not going to be able to find your dream job. Because candidly, and this is going to sound really awful, you're not worthy of it yet. That's right. I said it. You're not worthy of it yet, because until you believe in yourself, of course, you don't feel worthy, then you are what you think. So you've got to feel worthy and feel excited, not worthy like, darn it, I deserve it. Poor me. But I deserve it. I can do this. I got this. With the help of Work It Daily, I'm going to get it. That's the mentality that you really have to have in order to get a job today. So hope that makes sense to everyone. I'm going to answer a couple more questions here. Let's see. Can you tell me how to convince a recruiter to hire me, especially if I apply for a job abroad? Yeah, I can't convince. There's no convincing a recruiter to hire you. So here's the thing you need to know about recruiters, folks. They're super cynical. And having been in the industry, I know. I mean, they've seen it all. They've been lied to. They've seen resumes that aren't real. When they read your resume, they go through it with such a cynical, they're just like, yeah, right, sure. We'll see about that. That's what's going through their head because they've been burned so many times. So you're not going to convince a recruiter of anything. You're going to prove it to them. And you're going to prove it to them with your professionalism, and you're going to prove it to them with your answers, and you're really going to be able to demonstrate. Now, one of the things, it's like one of the secret tips that I'll reveal to you that we teach in Work It Daily is something called the Experience, Learn, and Grow method. So experience, learn, and grow is how you answer questions that recruiters and hiring managers ask you. It's a very sequential process where you tell them about an experience you had. You tell them what you learned from that experience as it relates to your skills, how it made you better, and then you talk about how you grew as a professional. It is very, very important that we answer our questions in this fashion. In fact, inside Work It Daily, we have this list of the 21 most common behavioral questions that everyone's getting asked these days. We have you write out your answers in the experience, learn, and grow format, and then our coaches will look at your answers and go, yeah, that's right. No, that's not right. Oh, you said that wrong, because we know how important this is. It's really, really important that you crush the interview. I've seen so many people, work hard just to even get an interview and then blow it because they didn't understand behavioral questioning and how to answer them. So I would tell you, no convincing, it's proving, and proving is through your interview. So if you're not getting through the first round of interviews, everyone, there's an interview prep issue. There really is. You're not saying the right things. You're not delivering the information in the right way. You wouldn't have got the call if you didn't have the experience, if they didn't think you had the potential. So the harsh reality is it's what you're saying in that interview that's not moving you to the next round. That's what you need to focus on. So you find your bottlenecks. Find your bottlenecks in your job search process. If you're getting calls, but you're not moving to that next stage, there's your bottleneck. You got to work on that. You got to get your skills up there. All right. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's a question from Amel. Hey, Amel. Shout out to Amel Kasim. So what do you do when you get your master's, you get all that extra education, and they tell you you don't have enough experience? This is super common. I have to tell you, if there's one thing that I could coach people on before you go get that master's, before you go get that MBA, understand that if you don't have the right level of experience, it's still like you never got that degree. That is the reality. And I'm really swaying people away from getting their second degrees unless they have a bunch of experience and they know for certain that the job they want requires it. Now, it sounds like it requires it for you, but you're not going to get that job right out of the gate. So, a couple of suggestions. My bet is that you've got like the master's up in the headline of your resume and front and center. Folks, when you put MS or MBA right after your name in your LinkedIn profile and in your headline, you're screaming, I'm an MBA, I'm a master's person, give me a job that has that level. They go through and look at your experience and go, but you don't have the experience. So first of all, take those off. Don't shout from the rooftops that you have this degree if you don't have the experience. Put it in the degree section, but you shouldn't be, saying, look at me, I have the degree if you don't have the experience. What you want to do is then create that bucket list. I talk about this all the time. I work with so many people inside the program on this. And then identify people you can talk to say, I have the degree, I need the experience. I'd love to do it at your company. Here are the 10 reasons why I think you're crushing it. What do you think it would do to earn a job there? So now you've got to, again, get your story in front of them. It's not going to work in a cover letter. It's not going to work in a resume. They're just going to dismiss you. They're in a hurry, right? So they don't see what they need. They dismiss you. You are going to have to go around the process, tell them the story, and really drive that point home. And I know this is, again, super counterintuitive stuff, but folks, I deal with thousands of people. Literally, there's thousands of people in the Work It Daily platform all looking for work. I know what works and what doesn't work. And I can tell you recruiters find that whole MBA, MS, especially when you've put it all over the top fold, believe it or not, some of them find it pretentious because it's not a PhD. And lots of people have masters and lots of people have MBAs. So it actually can work against you. So I'm not saying hide it. I'm just saying play it down and really focus on reaching out to those employers and saying, look, I get it. I need to earn the experience. I have the degree, but now I want to apply it. And that's the storyline that you've got to have. So I hope that helps. Hey, Derek. Derek says he's a big fan. Thank you. So glad you're a big fan, Derek. I got a question that I'm hoping you could help me with. I was a functional project manager in a prominent Silicon Valley firm for 18 months, and I've delivered the firm significant results. I'm starting to get direct assignments from my manager. He floated me a promotion to place me above my manager. That didn't sit too well with my manager, and he basically forced me to leave. It's been 6 months, and I'm struggling to get solid offers. It's always those final references. Wow. Okay, that's a total bummer. So this is one of those kind of career drama situations that I personally love to work on. Because it happens to people and they go, what do I do? I never dreamed I'd be in this position, right? Think about it. Here's Derek. He's on this crazy, awesome track. He's 18 months in. The higher up boss is loving him. He's making relationships thinking this is what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm going to climb the career track, not really realizing that his insecure manager can, doomsday him. And it's a harsh lesson to learn, really, really harsh. But what do we learn from this experience? That when I'm in a job, it is very important that whoever the manager is, that I'm in sync with that manager and that my career aspirations are in sync with that manager's career aspirations. Like it or not, folks, that's how it works. So the lesson learned here, Derek, would be taking some accountability for what happened. This is so important. When you go through on these assignments, they go, why'd you leave your last job? What's going on? And they're going to do that reference check. You've got to take accountability because they're not going to believe you if you say it wasn't your fault. So what you have to say is, this was a really powerful experience for me. Let me tell you what happened. And this is that experience, learn and grow model I was telling you all about. I went to work for this Silicon Valley company, had an amazing 18 months, really grew quickly, was so lucky to be recognized by the manager above my own manager. I got starry-eyed with it, was being floated for positions without really thinking about the due process and how that was going to impact my existing manager. And I really take ownership of that. My bad. I didn't think about including that person in these conversations, figuring out where they saw me in the future, figuring out how I could carry both our careers forward. Let's remember this person brought me on. They were my manager. I got where I was and, I needed to think that through. I now realize looking back, I would have done it differently. I would have really talked to my manager more. I would have included this person in the process, even if it meant delaying me getting that role for a few months, but making sure that I had my relationships intact. I now see how important that was. That is a story you need to tell. And then you say, Derek, so here's the deal. Now I've told you the truth and I own it. But when you call up and you go for the reference check, I'm sure my manager's still going to be really bitter. So pretty sure you're not going to get the best review, but that's truly what happened. And I just would hope that when you hear that, if you could come back and tell me what they shared, I'd like to talk about it with you because I really want to get back to work. I really miss working, and I learned so much from that experience. It was very powerful. I'm not going to say it was negative because it taught me something, but I'm looking to put it behind me now, work for a great company. So I really hope, in spite of the fact that you're probably not going to get a glowing recommendation, that you still consider me for the job. See how you own it and you go on the offensive there? You essentially diffuse the shock and awe that happens when they call up for the reference and they don't get a good reference, or they don't give a reference at all, which is, code for something went wrong here. You gave all the information up front. You talked about what happened. So when they get that person, now all of a sudden that person's negative attitude or whatever they're saying, it totally gets diminished and balanced out and gives you a fighting chance, Derek. So look, you're young in your career. I can tell you're going to crush it. It's going to be fine. These are the things that make your career story so rich later on. These are the things that you're going to coach other people on someday. So just know that you're owning it, move forward, but tell that story, own it. Own the mistake, because you did a lot of things right at that company. And that's the other thing. You're going to say, so much went right there, but this is the one thing that went wrong. Does that help, Derek? I hope so. And then, hey, come join me inside Work It Daily. We can work on that together for you as well. All right. Very good. So, wow, time is flying when you're having fun here, folks. I'm going to stay on for a total of 30 minutes. So I got 4 minutes left before I roll off here. So if you've got questions, you know what to do. I'm also going to tell you really flat out, honestly, if you like this, are you having fun? Are you finding this helpful? Then why aren't you a member? Because when you join Work It Daily, we give you an invitation to a private Slack channel. And in there, you direct message Career Coach with the questions you have here, and we give you an answer by trained coaches, by myself most of the time, as well as my amazing colleagues. So you're going to get the right information. You're going to get the right supports. You're also going to be with a bunch of extremely cool professionals. People who join our program, they're doers, like I said. So you're not with a bunch of whiners, you're with a bunch of doers. And there's all these cool channels and everyone's talking privately about stuff that's happening in their career and cheering each other on. It's just the coolest thing ever. So check it out, Work It Daily. It's super cheap. I'm not going to lie, folks. Super, super cheap. We are crushing career coaching. Career coaching is outdated. You should not be spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on career coaches. You should be part of something that's like a gym membership and get that information and those answers when you need it. And that's why we built Work It Daily. And it is incredibly cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm biased, but I think my friends that are part of it will tell you that as well. Okay, let me answer some more questions. Let's see. Why is getting my first job so hard? Any ideas to improve my chances? I've gotten a few interviews. Christo. Hey, Christo. So I'm going to go with first job out of school, out of college. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. First of all, they don't teach you how to find a job in college. Part of the problem, right? Then your career center is really far away. And on top of that, most career centers have you do the wrong type of resume, the wrong type of LinkedIn profile, and the wrong type of cover letter. So that's a problem right there. They've been giving you stuff that's literally decades old. So throw that all out. You need to have a new way to look at this, Christo, for starters. Secondly, I love working with recent grads because the sky's the limit. What you lack in experience, you make up for it in enthusiasm, and so many companies are looking for you. What they need is just to get to know you a bit. So this is where you have to create your first network, which I get it is really freaking scary and daunting. And it doesn't have to be. We turn it into a game at Work It Daily. We say, okay, let's figure out where you want to work. Okay, let's figure out how we're going to reach out to those people with this cool storyline of I'm a recent grad and I've got a lot of energy. They check out your LinkedIn profile that we've updated. They check out your resume. They're like, okay, this is, a young go-getter. The one thing that works so well for recent grads is disruptive cover letters. So again, go watch that video that I talked about right after this session. You're going to watch that video because when you tell a story about, oh my gosh, this is why I'm so in love with your company and what it does, companies dig that. Here you are, this recent grad, and you get them, and you're young and you're energetic. You have no bad habits. Of course, they want to interview you, right? And then you write this super articulate cover letter that no other recent grad is doing. Now you stand out. So our program, our platform, it works so well for recent grads because you just look so much smarter than your peers. So I strongly suggest watch those videos, but you've got to do it differently. Your resume has to be different, your LinkedIn profile, and definitely your cover letters have got to be different. And then you've got to target. I don't know how to get this through to job seekers enough. It is all about the target, people. You got to go in for your mission. You got to know where you want to work and why you want to work there. And that way you only have 20 companies maybe that you're focused on, but you're going to get results. That is the difference. That's why job seeking stinks, because people don't know where to look. They don't know what to do. They're just sending their stuff out there to companies where they're not even a fit, and then they get rejected. I mean, how bad is it to get rejected by a place that you didn't want in the first place? It's kind of like dating. right? So you're not into that guy or girl, but you find out they don't want you either. Well, what do you mean they don't want me? That's exactly what this is like. So why are you doing that to yourself? Focus, get true to yourself. Focus on who you really want to work for, and then let's build a super smart strategy for getting to know them and connecting with them and getting in their path. That's how you get it. Like I said, we call it the bucket list, and every day somebody's in Work It Daily going, bucket list interview, bucket list job, because they're focusing. And I wish it was some sort of rocket science. And I told you, gosh, it's something no one else has ever thought of. It's not. It's literally common sense. We apply smart business marketing techniques to your job search to get you a job. And that is what you need to do to get your first job. But remember, you've never done this before. So you need a little education on it. You need to study up. Don't do what everybody else is telling you to do. Watch the videos. Binge watch our channel. Just do that. Binge watch our channel for a while. All right. I love it. Love it. Love it. So I hope that helps, folks. Okay. I'm glad. Did you guys find this fun today? What do you think? Did you have a good time? Was it helpful? Will you tell me? Also, questions, comments, and feedback about our program, put them in here. We'll answer them. And I would love to hear from you sort of as a final thing here is, what are some of the topics? We're always trying to figure out what topics you want to learn more about. So what are some of the topics that are really interesting to you? So be sure that you share that with us here, because that would be really, really helpful. And also, one of the things that I'm going to be doing this week is we're adding a new video series. So we always drop a new video every week, a new how-to tutorial, something to really just kind of up your game in your career. I mean, we're all about moving your career forward. So if you subscribe to us and hit the little bell, that way you're going to know anytime I go live here, anytime we've got something. If you just watch these 3 to 5 minute videos, I mean, we watch so much junk on social media. Let's face it, people spend over an hour a day on Facebook. You give us 10 minutes at Work It Daily, 5 minutes at Work It Daily. Here, just watching these videos a couple times a week, you're making yourself smarter. You're making yourself better in your career. So we've got our how-tos every week. We're going to be starting a new video this week where it's called Coaching Moment, where I'm going to take stories and comments that we've gotten from some of our most popular YouTube videos and really dive in a little bit deeper about, these nuanced situations that people have, these things that happen to them. So definitely keep an eye out for those as well. And then we're going to be doing some office hours like Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So again, hit the little bell. That's how you'll get the notification that we're live here, and you can come over and get your questions answered. Okay. All right. And of course, I hope I see you all inside Work It Daily. Come join me. Come hang out with the coolest career community out there right now. Everybody's moving it forward, and I'm super empowered. So great. All right. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you back here soon. Will I see you here Wednesday? Yes. Yes. Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right, team. Until next time, have a good one. Happy Monday. Bye-bye.